Central, that's been an iconic establishing shot in several Tamil films. Tamil cinema has produced several engaging thrillers, but May 4 is likely to see the mother of all engaging political thrillers. That's because if there is one thing about the 2026 edition of the Tamil Nadu Assembly elections, it is that it is most unpredictable. No one really knows what is going to happen. It is the most open ever, and that's why every political party and leader is on tenterhooks. That's because if the electoral arithmetic of votes getting split is favoring one particular political party, the momentum is with another political party, and the electoral chemistry of alliances seems to be favoring another front. That's why this is going to be a most fascinating election with many unexpected twists and turns expected on the 4th of May when the results are counted. Let's take a look at what's working and what's not for the different political parties. Let us turn to the youngest political player in the arena, actor politician Vijay, who will probably stand out in history as a man who managed to campaign the least on the ground and yet managed to create the maximum impact, at least going by the traction that he seems to be getting on the ground.
அண்ணன் எங்களுக்கோசம் தனியாக நின்று செய்கிறார். அன்றைக்கி அண்ணன் உள்ளே வரும்போது எல்லாம் பேட்டி கொடுத்தாங்க. அப்போ நான் ஆசைப்பட்டேன், அண்ணனுக்கு விபூதி வச்சு விடணும்னு ஆசைப்பட்டேன். என் பாபா வந்து செடால் அண்ணன் வர வச்சு எனக்கு வைக்க விட்டது எனக்கு பெரிய ஷாக்கு. அண்ணன் வந்தது வெற்றிக்காக தான்.
The icons that Vijay has invoked for the Tamaraga Vetri Kazhagam, from a Periyar to an Ambedkar to Kamaraj to Velu Nachiyar, Anjali Ammal, is seen as an attempt to ideologically synthesize and broaden the appeal beyond the Dravidian platforms, though some critics have called this as ideological confusion. So what makes Vijay so formidable in 2026? Vijay is electorally untested, and yet because of his movie stardom, he is standing larger than life on the EVM. That's also because youth and young women like Guna and Priya are declaring their love and dedication to this star. They may have been otherwise politically not inclined, but now they say they are going to be voting for Vijay's TVK. And this is making it very, very special because this time round, they are also caste and religion agnostic, something that is very critical in a state like Tamil Nadu, where caste has always been a very important factor in elections. TVK's election symbol, whistle, is very relatable and has been a shot in the arm for this very new party. Whistle Podu, incidentally, has been the tagline of the immensely popular Chennai Super Kings for the last 18 years.
I'm working in night shift, and moreover, I'm not interested in politics at all, but I'm a huge fan of Vijay. I'm not just saying because I'm a Vijay fan. Everyone needs this time a change. It would be nice and great if he comes in.
So the TVK and Vijay have taken a very strong anti-DMK stance. What that means is that the anti-incumbency vote is going to get split, and that may inadvertently create an advantage for the DMK. TVK is seen as a one-man party dependent on the charisma and star power of this one single person. Candidates mostly are unknown, and the other political parties are hoping that the booth level management of the TVK is going to be weak, something that all these volunteers are denying.
Every booth, every part we have the booth level agents we have.
You have been given training?
Yeah, the training almost 10 days, the training will be there given by our senior persons in our places. Okay, we have each and every part we have the booth level agents we have.
The criticism against the TVK and Vijay has been that his campaigns have not been professional nor well organized, and therefore there have been too many cancellations, but volunteers say it's because of the kind of pressures that the party has been put under. The other criticism is that he has not held any press conference, so his views on most subjects is still not known. The TVK is not really heard as much as seen because Vijay is not really talking in any of his campaign trails. Whereas the AIADMK alliance has four good orators in an EPS, Anbumani Ramdas, TTV Dinakaran, as well as Annamalai. They are appealing to different caste groups, different geographies, different constituencies, making it a more comprehensive campaign appeal. Whereas the weakness for this NDA alliance is that their own relatives and former aides are working against him. For instance, the senior Ramdas has put up candidates to defeat his son Ramdas's party, whereas Sasikala has put up candidates to defeat Edapadi Palaniswamy and TTV Dinakaran's party. What works for the AIADMK-led NDA alliance is the poll arithmetic and seeming chemistry. Because with the coming together of the AIADMK, the BJP, the PMK, the AMMK and the TMC, on the campaign, they are presenting a united face. And the transfer of votes happens between all these different parties, it will be advantage the NDA. What, however, goes against EPS is the campaign that this is about Tamil Nadu being enslaved to Delhi in the form of EPS being enslaved to Delhi leadership. For EPS, this is a very important election for his political survival because even though he has been chief minister, there has been no election that the AIADMK has won under his leadership, whether the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, 2024 Lok Sabha elections, 2021 Assembly elections, or even the local body elections. The biggest advantage that the DMK is working with in this particular election is the split in the anti-incumbency between the ADMK and the TVK, and that they hope will be able to push the DMK towards victory. The narrative of the ADMK about TASMAC, the liquor being available, drugs, and the safety of women, that has begun to catch people's attention, and that is something that certainly worries the DMK. But they are talking about their welfare measures. And remember, Stalin has put together an alliance of 26 parties, trying to make sure that even a vote difference of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 votes in every constituency does not lead to their defeat. MK Stalin's Secular Progressive Alliance has had the most visible campaigning, with the Chief Minister himself leading from the front, Deputy Chief Minister Udayanidhi, MPs like Kanimozhi and Tamarachi Thangapandian, Kamal Hassan, even DMDK's Premlata, though her remarks on women's safety and Thirupparankundram have embarrassed the alliance. Unlike 2024, when there was a lot of visible bonhomie between MK Stalin and Rahul Gandhi, in 2026 it is visibly absent. Many are telling us that Rahul Gandhi was keen on an alliance and a tie-up with TVK of Vijay, whereas many seniors in the party had prevailed, and that's the reason why he was forced to continue the alliance with the DMK. And that has had its effect on the alliance chemistry. The DMK is banking on its welfare schemes like the free bus scheme, the Magalir Urimai Togai, as well as the breakfast scheme for children. It has even announced an 8,000 rupee coupon ahead of these elections. But is it still nervous in its own fortress of Chennai? It seems to be, because it has deployed actors like Prakash Raj and Satyaraj to attack Vijay, and even announced a very Chennai-specific manifesto days before voting. There is a fourth political player in the fray too. That is Seeman's Nam Tamilar Katchi or NTK. He got 8% of the vote share in the 2024 elections, and that is why he cannot be ignored. Vijay is expected to take away a substantive portion of his vote share too, just like he is expected to take away from the DMK, the ADMK and other parties too. And that is perhaps the biggest story of the 2026 Tamil Nadu elections. Who is Vijay going to hurt more, and who is he going to benefit? In Chennai with camera person Paul Raj, Uma Sudhir for Decoder.